Certainly. May Helia smile upon your endeavors.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides, while you are casting your blame in a wide net. Why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
I say our guest forgets himself.
Brother, stand down. You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us. An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen. Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
She has a keen eye, my sister. Keener than your shooter's bird, Hazanui.
Don't listen to Amishi.
Among her other qualities, the Kahanga Queen can speak for herself. From Port Mage to Hasongo to Magrin's Teeth, Aethys follows a rich vein of Adra. It takes him northeast to more interesting territory.
And from there? Your Highness, we must address this threat immediately. The Valiant Trading Company's interests are at risk.
Lives have been lost, Kantanichesi. Let us think of them before we concern ourselves with your return on investment. How a man speaks during crisis shouts his priorities. In the deepest memory of the tribes, we have told stories of Magrin's Teeth. Embellished sailors' fables, Akira, but not without some truth. My people speak of treacherous seas, lakes of fire, and the ancient warriors hammered to life on Magrin's anvil. Ashen Maw is the grandest and most accessible of the peaks. It is the sharpest tooth in Magrin's jaw. Prepare yourself for a fight. Akira, would that our resources were not so entangled in other parts. I cannot send ships to Magrin's Teeth any more than I would send paper dolls to a furnace. Unless the esteemed Hazanui possesses a cannon with the power to cripple a god.
Never underestimate the ingenuity of Rawatayan engineers. Unfortunately, their labors have been focused elsewhere.
More's the pity. If you make preparations in Nekataka, I say we can help each other.
Even in a time of crisis, you seek to recruit agents to pursue your own ends.
On the contrary, we need someone who can get things done around the Brass Citadel. And this Watcher is exactly that kind of person.
Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
Only that Rawatai stands ready to aid the Watcher. If he's going back into the wilds, he can't bring too much firepower.
Ma'am?
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Ac, perfitto. Do you mean to stop Eothas by shooting him? Seri Pallegina will go with the Watcher. Show him how the Republic's handled things.
Your Excellency, Pallegina Messerai has been... banished? She has been seen in Queen's Berth. I can have a report to headquarters.
You should feel no obligation to take on additional crew. The choice is yours.
Say the word and I'll shoot the tip off a green boy's nose.
You're making a mistake, Watcher. In times like these, trustworthy allies are the most valuable asset of all.
Calm down, Nero. I'm sure you'll get one of your spies in place eventually. In the meantime, Watcher, I hope you'll meet me in the Brass Citadel. There's more for us to discuss among friendlier company.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi? Aren't we popular? Best of luck in your travels, Watcher. I think you'll find our troubles a good deal more complex than a blundering god. Your allies will use you toward any end. Do not give your trust lightly.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else. Let's see. Watcher, while we have the chance. Your coming is a favorable omen already. You happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. It does not take a priest to see how the gods send us an outsider to dig under the skin of our enemies. Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this. Akira, But I hear whispers that you visited the Hazanui's Adra lighthouse and survived. Too much has happened for you to waste words with a royal brother. From now on, you work with Onikaza as an honored guest of her rooftop garden. Only, be kind to her cats. If you have questions, the royal brother will hear you. My sister keeps a tight grip on Nekataka, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet. You have some knowledge of Nekataka already. They say you have explored the city beneath the city. Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Raparu for their silence? How do they avoid the inspectors? Who is responsible? This cannot have gone unseen by all. Undercroft, a darker, more fetid layer of Nekataka, I say. Onikaza and I are the mind and heart of the city, but the bowels, these we cannot reach. At least Delver's Row is a stable target. The Crown has time to decide the next steps. I learned in the arena never to underestimate an advantage. For now, it is enough that I know where they bring in goods. What say? You hit upon my curiosity. Speak on. You are quick to come to their defense, but the Raparu must recall their place in society. If the black market will expend its resources toward the Raparu, then I say they have bought an uneasy truce. Delver's Row is safe, for now. Be sure that I do not regret this. I had my suspicions, but I had no wish to see them confirmed. When it comes to the dignity of the guild, the Crown can compromise nothing. Onikaza will see their leadership disciplined, I say. Akira, and if we enjoyed less interesting times, I say she would. Onikaza and I both expect more from the guild, I say. She will not be pleased. Akira, but at least you returned to me in one piece. You are not the first agent I sent to the gullet, but you are the first to return. I cannot say that I desire to send you to worse places than the gullet, but... Akira, my apologies. Does the name Ukaizo mean anything to you? Fable? No. History, I say. Ukaizo was the home of the Huana before cataclysm and destruction wiped the island from the Deadfire. That is the story. Story or no, I make no secret that we search for Ukaizo.
Aye, along with every other bare-masked, bilge-brained treasure hunter twixt here and Old Valia.
I've known sand crabs with a firmer grasp of a daring, I say. Our tribes are spread across many isles, but it is Ukaizo which binds us. Ukaizo, and the knowledge that we must return. To that end, a local cartographer secured a lead. A breadcrumb to a breadcrumb, I say. I sent an expedition to Matario Kozi, one of the Sanctuary Isles. They were to retrieve evidence of our lost homeland. They have yet to return. Akira, but do not leave me in suspense. An unusual accounting of the Isles, I say. Each one measured in relation to. If I did, my sister would hold a parade in your honor. Ngati is one to throw obstacles in our path, but I say that an outdated chart is better than none at all. Akira, here, for your expenses. When we know enough, my sister will finance a fleet-wide search. Not for breadcrumbs, but lost Ukaizo. Watcher, I take it that none of my people escaped the clutches of that island. I sent good women and men to die in the name of the tribes and in a vague hope. May Ngati thank them for their courage and Wodaka for their loyalty. May they return to us as Rangas. For what do they protect Matario Kozi when its knowledge could help all Huana? One day I will have words with their Ranga to settle our differences. This is much to learn in a day, even for this warrior. I sent the expedition to their fate, and those who followed. Death is on my conscience this day. Akira, just so. May all who fell on Matario Kozi slip through the eel's jaws. Juana and outsider alike. But on to brighter times, I say. If Ukaizo can be found, then so too will the hopes of our people be made manifest. Too much has happened for you to waste words with the royal brother. From now on, you work with Onikaza as an honored guest of her rooftop garden. Only, be kind to her cats. If there's curiosity to be satisfied, Akira, I will help. Akira, both topics I know well. The trading companies beat their chests and howl at each other. Business and conquest speak louder than hospitality. If we are lucky, the truth of Hasango will quiet their tempers for a fortnight. My sister would say that Ukaizo is the birth canal of the tribes, and we are destined to return and discover ourselves again. Ask Onikaza if you would know more. She is the family historian. I am the family arsenal. It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Nekataka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Nekataka tests our traditions, I say. What man or woman of the Isles does not? Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit. It is this. I am not. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu. You speak as if it is not. Our ancestors built this. It is for my sister. It is this. I am not. Nowhere in the city. Akira, speak on, I say. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks. My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice. But Akira, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpents. We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Juana, our burden to appease the gods. In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the Isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon. While you are in Nekataka, maybe you are interested in making yourself useful. Nekataka is a city of friends, I say. We exchange so much between districts. Even my sister's advisors dine at the officers' lounge and indulge at the wild mare. Here in Serpent's Crown, I can guarantee safety, but cavorting with outsiders, Akira, that is open water. A helpful warning, Herald of Bereth, from one friend to another. I expect results, Watcher. Have you gotten to the bottom of Delver's Row? Undercroft, the Onikaza, at least Delver's Row is a stable target. A friend of the Armada, Akira. Both topics I know well. They say your pockets jingle with veil.
What do you need of me? Well? I suppose it is. Are you familiar with the shield bearers of St. Elka? Word of our order persists in the homeland, then. Good. I am the son of a disgraced noble family. My father and brothers were executed for treason when I was a boy. Rightfully so, I must add. And my mother, sister, and I were thrown out on the street. All we had to our names was a trunk full of heirlooms. One of them was this suit of armor, which belonged to my eldest brother. Now I endeavor to live up to its promise and redeem my family's honor. That's the long and short of it, really. I am the son of a all we had. That's the long and... Well, you would need to become a shield bearer yourself to really learn it all. I suppose I can teach you a thing or two as we stand here. The privilege will run you 3,000 copper, however. My thanks. Hail and well met. Well, goodbye.
Ado, Watcher. Clearly you are an interesting man to know. You should speak with Governor Alvari in our headquarters down the mountain in Queen's Berth.
Of course.
You have returned from the wastes unscathed. This is good.
My brothers and sisters have set sail for Nikitaka.
I thought the tribes needed them to calm the weather.
A greater storm surrounds this. We must answer the call of the Kahanga. If the outsiders do not trust, the Green God will surely do it for them.
Do not speak this way, my love.
Barati pays coin to feed the great eel. He smells one touched by the great eel, does Barati. You are a man who sits across a fire with death, Akira. For glutting mighty Tangaloa and hurling foes into their next life, Barati can offer payment. Coins for feeding hungry gods. Akira, rewarding those who appease the great eel. This is Barati's cause. May the beasts of the dreaming lands never know famine. Tangaloa rolls a hungry eye toward Dichila, a Valian captain who scouts for luminous Adra in sacred lands. Akira, Tangaloa knew it would be so. Dichila sails her Voyager Alisio around the waters south of Nikitaka. The great eel hungers for her soul. Ask, but do not keep the great eel waiting. Continue the hunt, good feeder. Tangaloa knows you are devoted to the great meal to come. Return when the kill is complete, no sooner. My fingers be fat and feezy, bro. Wet and sleazy.
It is high time we spoke away from the exhaustive filter of the court. My children, Kahopa and Tangaloa, it is to them that I answer when dignitaries do not pound at my door.
I think I speak for all of us when I say we'd be honored to pet your children. Trick with cats, of course, is you gotta ignore them first. Get them interested.
We are of one mind. My mother taught me to bait an enemy into the open. Give it comfort and confidence. My brother speaks of your journey from Motare Okozi. Mostly, he mourns the loss of his expedition. Scholars pore over your findings as if a charcoal rubbing could build a bridge to Ukaizo. I have learned to restrain my optimism. A messenger from the jaws of Tangaloa speaks with the voice of wisdom and change, I say. I must keep the city's peace, and I have only so many arms and eyes. While the Deadfire screams, I would see Nekataka outlast the storm to come. What I need is a lasting peace that will outlive my dynasty. But I will accept peace of mind for now. What do you know of my water shapers, Herald of Bareth? Akira, if you recall history, then you know why I am protective over the guild. My water shapers are the levy holding back Rawatai's advance. An adept standing at the prow of a war canoe is enough to send the fleet scrambling for the shallows. This reminds me, I owe the Hazanui a basket of koiki in remembrance of the Battle of Nekaro Atoll. Akira, you think so? I am counting on the Hazanui seeing through my condolences. While the problems of Aethys and overindulgent admirals plague these waters, I have summoned the masters of water shaping to Nekataka. Now would be the time to confer with Guildmaster Mairu, but she does not answer my summons. It is too early to grow a forest from this coconut, but I would not dispatch you if I felt at ease. The guild can suffer no setbacks. If Mairu shirks her duties, her queen would know the reason. Nagati, do not abandon us now. Friends of Rawatai are rarely friends of the throne, but I will hear you. Fine beasts, are they not? Gifts from the Wapua, a tribe of proud animal trainers. I named them Kahopa and Tangaloa, which makes the priests very unhappy. Aruihi thinks I should feed my enemies to them alive and screaming. Akira, I have given it thought. We are the stewards of the Deadfire. Our ancestors made this pact with the goddess Nagati long before Ukaizo, before the island vanished. How long does coral grow? It is said the tribes assembled when Kahopa took his first mouthful of Amira's hatchling, and we will be here until the sea rises above our heads, the one which taught us to shape water. It is said that Nagati bound her 4 guardians to protect the islands, the Adra, the seas, and the tribes. In return, she gifted them the forms of water shaping. For so long as our promise is kept, the goddess gives us dominion over water. Speak on. A friend of the crown should be well informed, I say. Nekataka is older than our memory. We found the great city in ruins, and the Kahanga have spent generations replacing every cracked stone. The Huana, of course. The mark of our ancestors runs deep. Walls and districts are not how we would build a city today, but this place has echoes of the past. And our future, I say, if we can but reach to grasp it. The Valians were very forthright in their desire to carve out a permanent outpost, I say. When cannon shot echoed across the seas, the crown opened negotiations with Rawatai's armada, a healthier alternative to war. My brother thinks I am too lenient with our visitors. I say I will accept even this uneasy balance. First, a question of my own. The city is not how the tribes would live. Walls stand between neighbors, and the beach is too far to walk comfortably. There are angles of the city I cannot see from my garden. What place has Neketaka in the great pattern of the Deadfire? Neketaka is not the stones on which it rests. If you would know the city, speak to its people. Because we are the shrub in the shadow of an old growth. Even the gods may protest, but this city blooms from the wealth of foreigners. Aruihi would have me force them back to their ships. I say it is better to feed my allies under a single roof. The Herald of Bareth is welcome, I say. Ah, Akira. But listen how the Watcher flatters me. I cannot plant a seed in untilled soil. Akira, I want for there to be trust between us. The trading companies send spies to every corner of the mountain. I say there are places they cannot go. You and Aruihi think alike. This is my oasis, I say, not my prison. But you did not climb all the way up the mountain to pay compliments, I say.
Of course. Hello there! Come to have a word? I don't bite, I promise. Yes? Gladly, my friend, gladly. And how kind of you to ask. I am the youngest son of a noble house. Now, don't make that face. Poor, desperate fool, you must be thinking. Well, waste not your sympathies on me. Truly, I consider it a boon rather than a punishment. All the comfort and none of the responsibility. What's not to like about that? What else brings faraway travelers to the archipelago? Adventure. I've nursed a great love for heroic tales since my boyhood. As I was loafing about my father's estate, I thought, well, Gervard, isn't it time you made a name for yourself as well? So here I am. And though I dare say I'm little use in a fistfight, I can do a fair bit of magic and draw a lovely map. So I've taken to charting the interior wilderness of the Deadfire's larger islands. Ah, but it's worth it for the stories I'll one day have to tell. But truly, if I could only inspire others as I myself have been inspired by those old tales, why, it would be marvelous. Anyway, enough of my prattling. Surely you've other things to do. Oh, it would be my absolute pleasure. For a price, of course. 3,000 copper? Very well. Back again? Yes. Farewell!
Me, Alof. I'd be letting the lass out to play more.
It isn't you, and I didn't ask.
Could make a right nice excuse to be exploring your... well, everything, I.
You do realize you're not the first ill-mannered Orlin to suggest that?